Yeah, should be good to go. So, hope you guys are doing well. Good afternoon. Doing a market stream today, and also talking a bit about the points features in Central Command. So yeah, let's get into it. Um, BTC, have to admit they got me pretty good. The other day with some of these. So personally, I thought we had broken down. They kind of scammed the breakdown earlier in the day, where we kind of just couldn't reclaim 795, right? Just kept. Oh, I guess we did. Okay, I didn't see this. Okay, so whenever we did this, in the morning, yeah, right. Pretty clean price action. So once we got that reclaim of 795, right, we never lost it. I mean, you guys can see just like how important that level is, right? And then we just sort of sent. So, I mean, this is actually a pretty clear trade, right? Kind of a little retest, whatever, right? Stayed above. There's your pump. So again, I actually think this one is quite a clean chart where multiple tries to break out, break up. It's pretty choppy, but yes, finally, right? We flipped the level to support, and then we sent. I think this is a very tight range overall. This feels incredibly scammy, right? Like again, they're just kind of running these gaps, right? So feels a bit like predatory price action where we probably aren't getting a larger move for at least a while. It might just kind of be like a range scenario where we just sort of sit up here now. Think that'd be quite possible. Oh, hey, fun boy, welcome, welcome. Oh, welcome back, Myth. Good to see you. I am recording, by the way, so I'll get this up at the end of the stream. But yeah, like it just feels like very predatory price action, where again, you're just running kind of the local lows. And again, you guys can see the level, right, at 795. That's kind of been our level throughout, right? This is our big like support test of it earlier. So if you guys are wondering like where to find these levels from, um, they're usually quite easy to pull up. Let me just get rid of this. They're usually quite easy to find just because they're big areas of previous reversals, right? So again, we can kind of see we tried to form a base just above this level earlier, right? We came back and retested it for support, right? And then we did this, right? But when we finally eventually reclaimed it, then we actually got to move upwards. So these big levels are generally going to kind of be where you'll see these moves. I think the next kind of big level will be probably sitting down here, right? A run of all of these lows. So it could be here, it could be 78K. Something that takes that wick. Or, right, probably the next move that we see is maybe a run to 83K, right? And take out these highs. At least to me, I think the liquidity is probably up there um, for now, just based on the strength of this reaction. So, at least to me, I would imagine that we trend higher in the short term, right? It just feels like a bit too much of a strong reaction that I would not want to fade. Um, so yeah, at least to me, I think this does look quite good. Daily charts look good. I mean, right, this is pretty clean. We're just sort of walking up, which is awesome to see. But again, it is a very scammy range, right? We're just sort of running lows. You guys can see it's just a sweep. There's our big support down there, right, that we have not closed below, right? And again, 795, you guys can see, is a major kind of significant level throughout, right? And the next big level is obviously, right, those lows that we ran the other day. So these are kind of the levels to watch, guys, I would say, on BTC. And again, the structure here is actually pretty good, right? We're just sort of grinding up. And if you look, we're actually above, right, the range breakdown candle. And we're still not, and again, we spent some significant time up here. So at least to me, the fact that we haven't actually lost this range high is pretty bullish. Hey Zoldy, good to see you. Good to see you, Deloa. Good to see you, Bombaclat. Thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate you. We're just talking a bit about Bitcoin. I said that today's price action is pretty clean, despite being kind of a scammy mess. 795, really big level, right? We tested it for support here. We tested it for support all through here. Tested it as well after this, right? And we can see that when we finally got the reclaim of it over here, right, we finally got our pump upwards. Like I said, I think the next big level is probably here at 78K, or right higher at like 83, 84K. And again, I think I'm in the camp where we see the 84K come first, which is awesome. And if we go look at Ethereum, I think this is quite a similar picture to BTC, right? You had a previous low where we struggled to reclaim it and then eventually kind of just did. Like, it's not as clean as the Bitcoin example, but it is pretty much the same, where we just chopped around a previous low, and it looked quite bad for a while, right? And then I think around 9 a.m., when Bitcoin kind of reclaimed 795, that's when you got that pump. So, I mean, I think the next big level will be running this high. We're going to run that. We're going to run this high. I'm almost positive. So I'd be looking for that. If it does pull back, I'd probably try to bid here at like 2280. I don't know, somewhere in here, right? I mean, this is the 5-minute chart, but really, like, I would be aggressive because I don't really see how this trades lower. If you extend this all the way back, right, this is a pretty big support. All of these wicks is what we're trying to reclaim right now, right? You guys can see these descending lows, right? If we can like 1, 2, 3, all of this is kind of the support, let's say, right? And if we can get back above there, right, you guys can, again, big range, right? Very big range. Price should do quite well. And then again, and there really shouldn't be much resistance up here. At least not in the near term. Pretty kind of similar example here again, right? Had a pretty clean range. Broke down from said range. Bunch of chop. Reclaimed the lows, right? We zoom this out to like a half an hour chart. You guys can see what I mean, right? Breakdown, reclaim, and then you're back. And again, if you want to make this a bit easier to understand, right? There's the block, there's the retest. They don't really give you a chance to enter on this one, but structurally it's the same kind of setup where you broke down and you're able to get back inside the range. And again, what happens, guys? Like we've gone over this setup many times, so hopefully you guys remember, right? When you get a range low deviation, right, usually you will trade to the range high and get a range high deviation, right? So this would be my expectation on Sol, actually. I would imagine that we do something like this, where you've got that low. We created the extreme, and from here I think we can run probably to $100. Yeah, right. Flip daily support potentially, right? This is kind of a weird high. I think we can go higher on Sol. Also, I think this is the real breakdown level at like $100. Solzy, that's a traumatizing question. Oh, he left us. Anyways, but yeah, I mean on Sol, I don't think it's as interesting as some of the other coins. I mean, right, for the most part, this is just sort of stalling at these consolidation levels. But I think that as long as you're above these kind of daily chop levels, it's not a bad bet. And if we do ever manage to reclaim this $100 mark, that's a very strong buy, right? Like $110 is a pretty. Sorry, guys. This like $100 mark, right, is a pretty generational support for Solana. So if we are able to get back above, Yeah, I will. I will definitely be long in that for sure. Definitely a good chunk of alts. I think are worth checking out. Um, Ondo for one, quite good. And I think we mentioned this one the other day for sure. I think maybe in the TTS stream. I'm hoping that we get this kind of similar reaction across the market, but I'm not sure. But on a daily chart, right, Ondo has kind of just reclaimed the range low potentially. If we're able to continue to hold this, I do think that it can do pretty well. I don't think this one looks as bullish. Like I'm a little nervous with this chart. But honestly, this does look pretty good. I think this is a pretty reasonable take to long. You know what else we'll look at? We'll see how many active terminal people we had today. Um, 43. So could be better, could be worse. Just need the bots back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I gotta get the bots going. I paused the strategy vault until we sort out those bugs. I pointed out I and J the other day. Also, still looks pretty good. Can't lie, guys. Still looks pretty good. Um, yeah, just does. Right. Pretty clear range breakout. Trading above the range highs here across the board. We're just sort of flipping every key level, right? On the daily chart, again, it's the same setup, right? Look, point of breakdown, right? But once you reclaim this is when you get these moves. Again, it's the same chart on Luna Classic. Another good example, right? Where maybe use a 1 day chart for this. I don't know if it's enough history in this coin to show it, but yeah, no, this works as well, right? There's your downtrend, right? You finally reclaim the level, and there you go. It really is the same kind of play over and over and over again for the most part on these coins. It really is. It almost is the same chart every time. So on Bitcoin, right, I really do think that we are close to that setup. Because again, if you look, right, we've done the same thing. We've reclaimed this block, right? So I would expect expansion. This is the block that matters. So at least to me, that's what I'd be looking for over the next few weeks. Um, Most of these are just scams, right? But I mean, again, if you check the structure of their charts, yeah, just kind of a scam. If I'm being honest, there's not really a reason I can give you guys for these ones. Equities look pretty good. Spies at 1%. That's pretty nice. Nice pump, right? Just kind of up only. Not much else you can say. Kind of the same with tech stocks, right? Everything's just up, 2%, 3%, whatever. I think Tesla's a bit as well. Yeah. I mean, overall, guys, it feels like we're breaking out of pretty much every market, which is good. I think all these charts are bullish overall and just kind of chopping people out at this point. Um, I'm definitely leaning very team bull. So, at least for me, I would think that you keep longing until it stops working. That'd be my advice, guys. Look for pullbacks. Look for sweeps of kind of these big lows. Until the trend changes, these longs are going to keep working, right? Even just little stuff like this, right? They're good for 1,000 point scalps or whatever. And there's plenty of these in a bull market. I don't know if we're in a bull market quite yet, but I do think that we're quite close. Um, yeah, that kind of sums it up, I think, for market thoughts. Happy to look at more coins if you guys have any, or answer any questions. And then if not, we can wrap up the stream, I guess. Ooh, virtual's a good one. Yeah, let's check out virtual. So I actually like this one. This one filled the EQ wick, right? Now we've reclaimed the range low. So at least to me, this one's quite interesting, right? You had a pretty big level of support, right? It happens to coincide with this big sweep. You filled that wick, never took it, right? And bounced. Now the coin is back above this sort of range low area here. This to me is a very good chart, right? Obviously, you're still kind of waiting for a confirmed structure break because, you know, it's just lower highs. But I think once you break this, you're off. I mean, that's obviously very far away, but once you break that, you can get an explosive move. And on the daily chart, right, you've already kind of broken this downtrend. So, yes, at least to me, I would say yes. This is a good trade. I like this one. Good find. Let's check out Wild. Not as good. And again, you can see why. Look, it's the exact same structure we're talking about, with the reverse, right, where we don't get the close and we reject. And this is probably going to just run the lows. And again, if you look why, I think it's actually a pretty clear example. You've got a pretty strong base of support here, right? We tried to reclaim it, right, and failed. Sweep, not enough, just not enough gas to be quite frank. And now we're just rejecting from that block, right? So yeah, that'd be my thoughts on that. I think this is a very good example of what not to look for in a breakout trade, which is good though because you want to have both of them, right? Like, again, take the what was that example? There's a really good example we had where you got the close above, right, and then you send. That's what you want to see. You want to see a couple closes above and then a big upside move. That's what I'd be looking for. So you don't really want to see just one attempt at reclaim and then just die. That's generally not a good sign. All shitcoins for top gainers and losers. That would make sense. Pretty much the whole market for like actual major coins is up. Right, just kind of across the board. Yes, you are correct to exit. At least I think. Global metrics for crypto are kind of interesting right now. A lot of liquidations to longs, but I still think that we're going to continue to go higher. It's still not that skewed, and at least to me, I don't think it'll matter. Funding rate is negative, which is nice, good for your squeeze, especially on Bybit. A lot of open interest spiking this morning with the pump. Fear and greed still relatively low, honestly, despite the move. Honestly, to me, most of this stuff looks good. And again, massive negative ETF flows yesterday. But for today, you know, doesn't really matter so much. Looks like there could be some setups based on funding rate stuff. At least to me, I think most of the setups are going to be on that reclaim setup. But yeah, let's go to I don't know what other coins are there, guys. I'm not really sure what else we can check out. I would look at Circle. Circle was interesting. Circle looks good. That's a nice chart. is a very nice chart. Just kind of higher lows, right? Support resistance flip, support resistance flip, support resistance flip. This is a clean chart. I would definitely, I would be expecting higher on circle. Yep, can definitely check out TIA. It looks good. It looks good, right? Reclaim of that high, still not breaking down. This is a good looking chart. And again, on the hourly, right? It is sort of that same structure, right? There's your breakout right here. And if we look, right, we just never really lost that level. And then here, right, here's your support reclaim. Pump, pump, pump. This one, this is a nice chart. This is a very nice chart. And it's kind of the same setup as the other one you guys pointed out, where again, look, the EQ never got taken, right? So I think this could be similar to yours, Myth, on virtuals, right? Where again, we never took this level. Let's do the same thing now, where we get that big pump. That'd be nice. Oh, that'd be a good choice. Let's do that. LTC. Like, no, right? We're just stuck inside this block, the breakdown block, right? We had one chance to close inside, we didn't do it. It's like wild. It's almost identical to wild, and for the same reason, I wouldn't long it until we get above here at least. But honestly, this one looks quite bad. I'm not. I like this one, at least to me. Not a particularly interesting coin at the moment. We can look at Chainlink. Sitting at $10, which is not terrible. And if you look at the range, right, this is another good example of the same setup, right, where here's this level. We finally got our close above. This one should run quite nicely. This should be a good coin. Link could be one. I would look at Link. I'm gonna put this in the squirrel trade one as well. Looking at Link here. I think this setup is so prevalent across the board that we just want to show it. You know, pretty much how to find it. All right, let's go back. We could look at Dot. I mean, Dot's always kind of a loser, but could be fun.
Okay, good. Yep.
Thanks, Mika. Good to see you. Welcome. Actually, Dot looks pretty decent as well. I mean, honestly, because again, you didn't wipe the EQ. So I would say I would actually put Dot on like the not bullish, but I would buy this. I would actually buy this here. I wouldn't be as bullish because again, it's not above the point of failure like it is here, right? And it tried. Damn, did it ever try? But I do think it's worth a try at this price, simply because you have not taken the lows. Oh, look at Wilfie. Fuck this Ponzi coin. It's good to see that Donald Trump's scam coin is being a scam coin. That being said, if I was gonna buy it, I probably would buy it around this price because the pre-sale price was 5 cents. So I mean, I would imagine most people are puking their positions here. So at least to me, this would be the long if there ever was one. But like, there just might not ever be one. If I'm gonna be blunt, I do think this would be it though, because the listing price was 5 cents on launch. So I do think most early investors will probably sell and round trip the remainder of whatever they have left. Trump itself looks terrible. Don't touch this. It's just going to zero. Truly, truly, truly. A generational asset of money stealing. No, you're all good, man. Thanks for coming, Prune. Appreciate you. I will catch you. I'll catch you the next one. Um, but yeah, guys, I think that kind of sums it up for today's stream. Gonna get the video posted. Thank you guys for coming. Central points. If you make trades, you will earn points. That is the best way. The best way to go about it. And then the points will be used for cool stuff. So we're making a good rewards program with Blowfin. We're gonna get you guys some actual airdrops and stuff like that, based on the trading stuff. So yeah, definitely stay tuned.